Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nerd Break, the podcast where we take a break from life and nerd out about our favorite things. My name is Joseph, your host, and with me, I'm joined by two of my best friends in the whole world, Moxie
Hey guys!
and Zombs.
It's me, Zombs.
So, to start things off here, we're going to do just a brief introduction for all of you wonderful people out there of who we each are. And let's go ahead and kick it off with Moxie. Please tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Hey guys, so I am a fan of the cute and macabre. That's kind of my tagline. So I'm the metalhead that is a gamer, and poor Joseph, he has to put up so much with me. But I'm also the meme addict. I'm the one that likes to shove memes in his face, as you can see by his videos on YouTube.
Thank you for that, Moxie.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
And Zoms, if you would tell the lovely people a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I like video games and everything anime and waifus.
Of course he had to say that.
Yeah, always. You got to think of the waifus. They're there for us. They're there for everybody. They're there for you and me. They keep the world going round.
As you can tell, he is thrilling.
Yes, I mean, Zoms is a part zombie.
Yes.
So.
Why does everybody say that?
I mean, kind of hard to miss.
Yeah, very hard.
The green, the green skin and the odd colored eyes.
No, my color came back into my skin. Yeah, more.
Is that the lovely shade of red, blue, and yellow from the Mario jumpsuit that you're in right now, Zoms?
One, it's warm. Okay.
Has a point.
Keeps the blood going through.
Very important for a zombie.
Two, Halloween is upon us. The harvesting.
Yeah, Halloween. And I know this year isn't going to be very exciting for a lot of people, but I hope everyone out there is having a good Halloween, a nice, safe one. I know I'm going to be wearing my Plague Doctor outfit at some point. Not sure when.
Thank you for that, Zoms. And yes, that's actually very appropriate.
I know. I'm going to hold a little sign that says, wash your hands. That'll be my Plague Doctor outfit.
Wash your hands, you nasties.
I'll walk up and down the street like that. I'll try to get a picture. Who knows? Might be good to just shove that on Twitter or something.
I wash my hands and I'm undead.
See? Good hygiene. Hard to come by.
Yes. To briefly introduce myself, my name is Joseph. Some of you might recognize me from my YouTube channel, INT Joseph, where I do personality stuff. Personally, I am a video gamer, play lots of video games. I like a little anime. You'll get more of a taste for what kind of things I like as the podcast moves forward.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go ahead and to let everyone know, every week what we'll do is we'll go over some news topics and we'll talk about what's happening, and we'll also get into the things that we really like. The idea of this podcast is we want to be able to literally take a break from life and nerd out to just the things that we love, things that we like that are going on, that are coming out, and that's the whole point of the podcast. But everyone, let's go ahead and get started with some of the news. And one of the very first things that we're going to talk about briefly, it happened last week actually, where Nintendo dropped this announcement for the 30th anniversary of Fire Emblem. They're releasing over here in the States the original Fire Emblem from the NES that was only released in Japan. They've translated it and they're bringing it over here, NES graphics and all, just translated in English. It's going to be available digitally for $5.99. Unfortunately, it's also going to be a timed release where it's only going to be available through the end of March.
I'm
Anyone else
guessing this is
interested?
something you're going to get.
Oh yes, I personally played the remake on the DS. So why they decided to put this out there, I honestly don't know. But being $5.99, I'm more than likely going to pick it up because
Well,
it's interesting.
Nintendo sometimes does these little things when they're going to release something in the future related to it. You know how they like to just drop
Yeah.
things without saying anything.
Yeah. More interestingly, though, this is getting a physical version, but it's only going to have a digital code for the download for the game outside of the physical goodies in this big box, and it's going to cost $50.
Hmm.
I like Fire Emblem. I'm not that good at it, but I'm more than likely going to pick up at least a digital download. Moxie, are you interested in it?
Well, as someone who's never played Fire Emblem, but who has a ton of friends who, um, do like it, I actually might check it out for 5.99. And plus, if it is the kind of original graphics and all that, if you're
Yeah,
getting
it's the
introduced to it
original
after,
NES graphics.
yeah, if you're getting introduced to it after so long, you might as well start at the beginning. That's what I kind of look
Um,
at.
I almost would argue against it just because I have this feeling that it's going to have some. It's the original game, and the original game was notorious for being very difficult.
Mm.
So, but you like strategy games, and
Oh,
you love Disgaea. You
I
were
like this
telling
guy.
Zoms about that earlier.
Yeah, I was telling Zoms about just um what Disgaea is, which is a game that never truly ends. Because if you can do a billion worth of damage and against an enemy, the secret boss or whatever, and you still can't kill it, that's a game. That's a game that exists. It's one of my favorite
Zoms,
series.
Zoms, what do you think of all this? The Fire Emblem releasing Fire Emblem uh, original one, and this guy also, for that matter.
Well, the most that I've ever played for Fire Emblem was when I played the characters for Roy, Marth, and Ike in Smash Bros. And they
Those are
seem
good.
pretty cool.
Those are good
So
characters in the game.
I'm gonna get Fire Emblem. It's also cheap.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I mean that price tag is not bad, especially right now when everything's a little financially strained for everyone. Having a game that's 5.99 that will take up some hours of your life, sure, that's not bad.
I would like to draw one really interesting point before we move off this topic, and that's that Nintendo is making this a limited time offer again, just like they're doing with the Super Mario 3D All Stars game. They're going to potentially pull this away from us at the end of March. How do you both feel about these limited time releases?
Zoms, you got any opinion on it? Because I sure do.
Get them while they're hot.
Well, that's well stated for a zombie that's in the sun, just
Yeah,
stands in the sun all day.
No, I
I
stay out of the sun. I can't. I'll dry up.
I was gonna say, like, I don't think this guy. Have you seen him lately? No, he
We'll
does not get
water
the
you,
sun.
zombs. We'll put water on you, and maybe you'll sprout some flowers, or at least some moss.
Mold.
I
There
have
you
to
go.
go through so much of water bottles every day,
The
and I have to
bottles
shower every
themselves, or
day.
the water.
Most definitely mold. Just kind of like scrape it off. You're good.
Hmm.
In the
I
shower.
at least that.
At least.
Otherwise, I don't think we could be friends.
Moxie, though,
I don't
you
smell
were
like rotting flesh.
Yet.
yeah,
Although you know what? The whole rotting thing, corpses and stuff. As far as my opinion on it, and not on the rotting corpses. I
Oh,
never
come on.
really liked. I know, right? It's Halloween. Come on, it's the only holiday I ever get excited about. But no, as for time released stuff, I have never really. Okay, if it's one thing if it's a game that's being a pre-order and there's a limited time that if you order this you get whatever. It's different when you have a whole game that's being released only for a limited time. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I've never liked that. It's more of a, like, and well, of course, it's an incentive to buy it, but it just seems so shady, shadier than sometimes some of the pre-order stuff for these games that I just know, you know, they shouldn't charge that much for just like a little piece of, plastic that comes along with the box. Um, I have such strong opinions on that, and that's the one thing that makes me really kind of upset.
Yeah. Even more interesting because I agree. I do not like those practice. But even more interesting, just from the pattern we're seeing of like the Super Mario 3D collection and then this, they're both tied to anniversaries, which is very strange. What are they trying to accomplish here? Or are they going to do this for all the anniversaries of the games that they have
They
potentially?
might.
That I mean, if it leads to us getting more games like an F-Zero game that we haven't had in years, that would be really neat. But I don't know. I digress.
It's Nintendo. Like I said, lately they've been doing things without warning, without like, hey, by the way, guys, we're going to drop a direct today. They just drop it. They
Right.
also seem to be releasing things with not much notice or dropping trailers without much notice. They're just doing things spontaneously these
Right.
days. I don't know. It's
Mm.
not a complaint. It's keeping things fresh when they do it like this, but
It
at
it
the same
does
time,
generate buzz.
it does.
That's the idea.
And for a business, that's what you want.
Right.
But
Alright,
it's
well, I
also at the
think
same time like, what are you up to?
right.
Seriously, what are you up to?
Well, I think we've run the course on that. So let's move on to the next bit of news topic here. So Sony, for a while, has been pushing the idea of an Uncharted movie, and it's been known about. But now we're actually getting some real meat to all this. Mark Wahlberg is actually playing Sully, and he shared a very brief snippet, I believe it was on Twitter, of him in character, as well as Tom Holland showed off a picture of himself dressed up as Nathan Drake.
And Tom
Anybody?
Holland.
Yes, that was kind of my reaction when I heard that he was
Tom
playing.
freaking Holland.
Oh, I see you have some thoughts there, Moxie.
I like Holland. Really do. And as far as the Uncharted series, I'm actually decently versed in them. I have not played every single one of them, but it's interesting that they chose Tom for that role.
Yeah, it
It's
is because he's so
not
young,
he
and
is.
he
He's very young. He's kind of a bit too young, but at the same time, I'm sure he can pull it off because it's Tom freaking Holland. But
right.
I saw that picture and I'm just, um, he looks really young for the
Yeah,
part.
yeah, he does. I've played all the mainline Uncharted games, and I played one of the PSP games or PlayStation Vita games. I'm sorry. But just looking at Nathan Drake in those games and then looking at Tom Holland, you're right. He just looks too young. There's something about his face. They either need to age him up a little, just a little, to make him look more the part or something. because he doesn't quite hit it for me.
Yeah. Doms, what do you think?
I'm kind of surprised at Tom Holland doing Nathan Drake, but I guess the only thing is to just wait and see, because the only thing that I really know him in is Spider-Man.
What do you
So
think
for
of
him to,
Mark Wahlberg? Did you see him? What he looks like?
I think that Mark Wahlberg will do a great job. He does sort of a wide variety of different characters. Um, so I'm okay with him. Uh, I do like Mark Wahlberg. I like his characters. I think he does a great job. So I think with him and Tom Holland, all I can say is let's just wait and see.
Okay,
Yeah, I
fair
can get
enough.
behind
Yeah.
that.
All right, let's see here. Next, we've got really small snippet here. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, multi-platform as it is, it's getting new platforms that's getting released on. Originally, it was slated to be released on the Wii U and the Vita, but both those got cut, and wound up being Switch was the only portable unit that got the game. Now it's finally coming to smartphones. It's coming to iOS and Android, which is interesting to say the least. I personally don't like games like that on cell phones because I don't understand
Mm,
the control how you would control games like that. I get that
yeah.
they do virtual pads, but more importantly though, this is being called a premium release, so it's not free to play. They're not releasing it in any way, shape, or form to be a free to play. You have to pay money in order to have access to this game. Anybody got any thoughts about this?
Zombs?
I guess I'll have to wait and see so I can watch somebody before I get the games that you have to pay to play. The only other game that I've really paid to play was World of Warcraft.
Yeah, World of Warcraft, buddy. I. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The only mobile game that I have is Pokemon Go. Seriously. And half of the reason is because it's an incentive to walk and jog and do my exercising. I really don't play mobile games because one, it burns the battery. Two, I don't like the format of an actual game on a phone. I just don't.
I don't either, honestly. The only one I play is Fire Emblem Heroes, and that's just because it's very simple and easy to play it.
Yeah,
Is
it'd be different if it was like a little tap game or something, but it's
Yeah.
not. Clearly
is that
not.
one pay to play?
Fire Emblem Heroes? No, it's free to play. It has a gotcha system in it, but it's pretty much a very Fire Emblem light game.
Some
There-
microtransactions.
right. Well,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
not it.
Hmm?
You buy orbs in order to get characters, but the
Okay, so
game spams orbs at you. So for me, I've never ever had an incentive to buy
oh, okay.
orbs because it's fairly generous enough with
Okay.
both the orbs and the characters. So
So if you
unless you're really
wanted
like
excess, then you could pay for it, but otherwise, if you
right,
want to just make do, okay,
you
gotcha.
you can I can say this. I've never spent a dime on the game, and I've got like 1/4 of the total characters I think that have been released. They have released like a season pass type thing where there's special characters that are locked behind that, but that's really it. It's pay to get those extras to fill out things if you really want to, but it's not something that you absolutely have to shell out money on, which I'm okay with that. Next brief little snippet of news for the Super Mario 3D All Stars. We were actually talking about this earlier. Nintendo is actually updating the game, and Zombs, you'll be happy for this because they are allowing you to finally invert the camera controls.
I saw that. Yeah, Zom's gonna love that.
Zombs,
I'm
are
gonna
you,
be even better.
Zombs, when we were talking a while ago, you were playing through Super Mario 64, and you're actually playing through each of the games. What kind of progress were you making on those, real quick?
I thought I was probably the best player in the world because I would play it and I would ask other people how they're doing, and I was just so surprised with how slow people were moving along. And my friend is talking to me about it, and he only had like 5 stars. He's still getting through like the first floor of the castle. And in the time that he's talking to me, I had already gotten 6 stars in a span of like 25 minutes.
You've always
And
been
Well,
I
good at
was
those kind of games, though.
well, now
I
I'm
was
going
just
to
like, wow.
I'm going to let everybody know right here that said friend of Zoms was me. I admit it. I'm slow.
I could say something, but
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. It's bad enough that I admit
Actually,
this.
I was being nice, and it wasn't you, it was another friend.
Oh,
You
he's
you
being
you
nice
you're
to
you're
you.
you're trying to be way too nice to me.
I mean,
He
it
has some
was it
manners,
was somebody else, somebody that I work with, and he also got the game. And I was just like, wow, you're better than him. Trust me, Joseph. I did talk to another friend. His name's Jake. And I'm going to tell you right now is I thought I was good. And he has about 30 more stars than I do. And I was like, whoa,
Jake, this is going out
okay.
to you, man.
Yeah,
Wherever you are, you're awesome.
yeah.
Well, what do you think, though, Zoms, of the fact that you're going to finally be able to invert the camera controls? Are you excited for that, or could you care less?
I'm excited. I would like to I only have one save file, so I will start a second and compare and see.
I don't. The way it was making it sounds like it's an option in the menu, so you wouldn't necessarily have to do that.
Unless
I
you're
could be
playing from
wrong.
scratch to see the difference.
That would be, yeah, that's true. If you wanted to do that.
I like to compare. I have nothing but time.
Well, if you do that, then please report back because I don't have the time to compare. But I can also say, as someone who has the game, I'm only slightly excited because I think I kind of got used to the non-inverted controls. But I guess we'll see when the update drops. I believe it drops next month, middle of next month. I think it was around the 11th.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Moving on to this heavily one-sided Nintendo, almost completely heavily one-sided Nintendo, we
Well,
got a
they
little bit
dropped a big
more.
update.
We got another little piece of Nintendo news that we'll just go over briefly. Panel de Pon turned 25 years old. For those who are not aware of what Panel de Pon is, it is a puzzle game, and you might have known it more in the vein of Pokemon Puzzle League, as that was
Mm.
what came over here in the N64 days. The Panel de Pon game was actually originally released on the Super NES, I believe that it was. And we did get that via the SNES Online through the Switch Online. And it's an interesting puzzle game because I actually did take the time to try it and would highly recommend anybody else try it that is not already.
Yeah.
Um, Zombs, Moxie, any thoughts on this?
Well, I
Want to try
honestly
series?
don't know much about it. Um, Briefly, a moment of acknowledgement when you brought up the Pokemon, because I'm big into Pokemon. But otherwise, this is one series I don't know about. I'm not sure if I would actually do it right now, mostly because my job makes me brain dead by the uh, end of the day. I'm very exhausted mentally. Don't know if puzzles would be good. If that's the kind of actual puzzle game it is. Is that what it
Think
is?
Tetris. Think
Oh,
Tetris,
Tetris?
more or less.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
not falling blocks exactly like Tetris, but it's the blocks come up from the bottom of the screen, and you just swap places with them to match them
Oh.
up. So it's not complicated. It's just it's quirky. It's unique. But you
Yeah.
have Switch Online anyways, so if you ever boot up the SNES Online app, you can try it for free.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'd try it for free. I don't know if something like that would stick. I'm more into block puzzles and video games, like, Soul Reaver. This is a big one for my past with block puzzles. Um, that long game series. But otherwise, no, I'm probably not going to check it out much more than just the free demo.
Zombs, what about you?
I'm unfamiliar with it, so I may just watch videos first. Something that I mentioned to people really quick is I know a lot of people are interested in expanding their horizons and trying new games, and I tell them, I say, hey, you should look up the gameplay on YouTube, see if you like it. That's what I'm gonna do.
I
Okay.
mean, I'm so thankful that a lot of YouTubers do stream their stuff. There's been a lot of games that I've gotten into because of that. And there's quite a few that, anytime a new game comes out, I'm like, I wonder if that person's gonna play it. Let's check them out.
Okay. Well, let's
Moving on.
yes, moving on.
You see,
And
I killed the chat right there. Press F in the chat.
for a bit of
Nothing happened.
Sega
Press F in the chat, nothing happens.
for a bit of Sega related news,
There we go.
the Sega Genesis Mega Drive in Europe actually had nunchuck like controllers in the
Yeah.
prototype stage, where the D-pad was on one side, one hand, and the buttons were on the other, and it actually had a trigger button, which looking at them is very strange, but they were only ever prototypes. And yeah,
Yeah. I saw them and I laughed. It was a long, good laugh, too.
Zoms, what did you think when you saw them?
I hadn't seen them.
You hadn't seen them? Well, scroll up in the chat, you'll see them.
Oh,
You
it's
can't
it's
miss
great,
them.
Zombs. You should check it out. I mean,
They are unique, to
they
say
are
the least.
unique. I mean, hey, kudos to whoever designed that because they really thought out of the box. But
Well, more importantly, this is Sega. Sega
yeah,
did this before Nintendo, technically.
yeah,
Granted, they don't have motion controls. It's just a split pad. So technically, and in the article that I read, you could have the D-pad in your right hand and the buttons in the left if you're left-handed.
Was that the
So
point? Was it to for people who may have wanted to switch it up?
I don't know what the point was. It's just one of the prototypes that Sega evidently was trying out. More interestingly, though, this for a brief moment, this reminds me that Sega did a lot of things before Nintendo did to a certain extent, and it was a difference in the philosophies of the companies. Which seeing this just reminds me of that. Did you
I
find them,
mean,
Zoms?
Yeah, they are pretty interesting looking. Oh, I was just gonna say that I had mentioned so the controllers look pretty cool. For them to be separated, I wonder if it was for them to if you wanted to switch sides or whatever, there's no
mm,
motion there. I think they were just starting it. I think that Sega is a lot like the steampunk era is they had really great ideas. The only issue was that there wasn't enough backing it up and
yeah,
people went another route. But I think if Sega would have continued, they would have definitely changed. The world would be different from what it
Yeah,
is today.
yeah, I do
definitely.
agree with that.
I think it reminds me like in Sega's downfall was the Sega Dreamcast against the PS2 when the PS2 was released, and that was one of the console wars. But Sega fell behind in the simple fact that the PS2 just played DVDs, whereas the Sega Dreamcast did not. Other than that, I thought it was a great system. great games. I loved all the games. Like a lot of the games, I would love to go back and just play again. That's how fun they were.
Yeah, but they did move on and live on other systems, so we did get Sega's games other ways, at the very least. All right, moving on to the next bit of news to finally hit Xbox here. It has been confirmed that all non-Kinect related Xbox games are going to be backward compatible on the Xbox Series X and S. So the entire back catalog of Xbox games
Yeah.
are completely playable on the Xbox Series X and S.
I think that's a good move. I honestly, with the backwards compatibility, I know there were reasons why they didn't have this for so long, both good reasons and also bad reasons. I think it should have come a while back, you know. I think we should have had this for a while. I am glad. There's a lot of people that do love the Kinect games, and the old games. Um, but it backwards compatibility should have been here by now.
Yeah, it's interesting how it changes every generation.
Yeah.
Zoms, what do you think? You have an Xbox. Are you excited about this news?
Uh, I am. It makes me wonder like what was the issue before. I'm not a programmer, but I would love to take a tour of like facilities and stuff in the designing of these consoles and seriously ask questions like why is it just happening now? To go back and play an original brick Xbox game uh, that on my new system that sounds like a lot of fun. It kind of throws out. It's like I still see people who are trying to keep their Xbox 360s going because those games don't play on certain games don't play on the Xbox One. And now to see that you can go all the way back, that's amazing. And a quick question though, is that only going to be available like on the new Xbox series that has the disc tray?
Well, the Series S does not. So no, it's not just the Xbox X. It's the S also. So you can go in at the $300 price point of the Xbox Series S and get the backwards compatibility to all the titles.
I'm excited.
Thought that would get you
I am bursting with joy.
for
You
a
sound like it.
zombie.
Wait, if
Uh,
you're bursting with joy, does that mean your gibs go flying?
It's a good thing I'm wearing this onesie.
Yeah, yeah. If your gibs go flying, dibs on the wishbone.
Now wait a minute. If it's the wishbone, then we have to make sure it gets dried properly so you and me can break it and see who gets their wish.
That sure as heck won't be me.
You never know. All right. Final piece of video game related news for today. Nintendo, of all things, decided to drop another Nintendo Direct Mini partner showcase as of today. And I can honestly say this was a surprise, to say the least. We got a bunch of different games covered in it. And see if I can pull up the specific games that were talked about. I know that Bravely Second got a release date and a trailer, and it releases on February. I know it releases in February. Okay. Control, of all things, is getting a release on the Switch. It's going to be the Ultimate Edition. We got another trailer for Hyrule Warriors, which slightly looked like a rehash of what's already been shown, as well as a demo has been dropped. Hitman 3 is coming to the Switch. No More Heroes 1 and 2 are both made available on the Switch as digital downloads. Immortals Phoenix Rising is coming before Christmas. Tropico 6 is getting launched on the Switch next month. And then the Part-Time UFO, which was originally released on other Nintendo systems. I'm drawing a blank at the moment which ones those were, unfortunately. That got a Switch release today. And then Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town also arrives, but it's coming out next March. Zombs, Moxie, did you get to either of you see this direct?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I got a second what you said about the Hyrule being kind of a rehash. It looked like it was a rehash. I'm excited that the demo dropped. Don't get me wrong. You know, I'm still playing Breath of the Wild. But yeah, Zombs is too. I can see
well-
your hand raising.
Let's skip over that just for a minute because there is big news that happened in that trailer. Go ahead and continue, please, though, with the rest of your impression of the direct.
I mean, honestly, half the direct I didn't pay any mind to because half of it didn't interest me. Although I am a sucker for farming sims. I mean, look at me. I play Sims and I play Animal Crossing. So I have a thing for simulators. But it was a bit of a mixed match. Like
And World of Warcraft.
I mean, but yeah. Because World of Warcraft is a transmog simulator. Don't let anyone say otherwise. But as far as the actual Nintendo went, yeah, I had mixed feelings. Like half of it interested, half of it not.
Zombs, what about you? What were your general impressions of the direct? Or did you not see it?
I didn't see it.
Okay. Then going back real quick, and I'm sorry that I cut you a little short there, Moxie. The reason why I did that is anybody that did not see this, please pause the podcast and then come back after you watch it because I'm going to go. I don't know if this is spoilers considering it was in the trailer, but we actually get to play as the divine beasts in Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity.
Yeah.
That was
That's-
shown
I
off in the
literally
trailer.
tried to pause the podcast because I was like, okay. And I
Zombs, this is why we love you.
Yes, there's a reason why you need to eat more brains, buddy.
that is frowned upon in society.
Yeah,
What-
just don't eat mine because they're no good.
What do you both think of the fact that the divine beasts, these big towering behemoths, are playable in Hyrule Warriors? You get to slaughter the masses inside the giant elephant.
That is purely stress relief after a day of work. That's what that is. That's you clocking out, so stressed from work. You just want to annihilate things. That's all it is. I think it's interesting. I think it can be a little bit too OP if it's not balanced right. So we'll see how that's balanced. But it could be just generally fun if you just want to cause mayhem.
I mean, part of that though is just the Warriors formula in general. When you want a mindless, just slash and hack and just destroy everything type game, that's what you get a Warriors game for. Honestly, Zoms, do you have any reaction to the Divine Beast being playable?
Is it going to be like are
Actually,
they going to be like dumbed down a lot, or
or
is it? I'm sure
from,
it's just for like a story purpose.
I mean, we are talking about only what was shown in the trailer, so there's really no way of knowing. More importantly, not to demean anybody, but Zoms, have you gotten to a divine beast in Breath of the Wild yet?
I kill a lot of things, and I'm not sure what's divine or not.
That would be
I
a no.
have. I have.
Which one have you? You have?
Let's put it this way. Remember when I screenshotted or gave you that little snapshot of
So you have the
princely
elephant
himbo?
completed.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that the only one that you have completed?
Yes, so far.
Okay. But you have an understanding of the massive size of these things. These things are
Also,
huge.
I have an understanding of how long it actually takes to complete one of those. I have new respect for the YouTubers. So yeah, no, they're huge. They're
Yes,
massive.
there.
The power that they have, that one in particular. Um,
And they're
Ganon,
all huge. They are
Waterblight
all
Ganon.
very large.
I
Just
And
killed a
actually,
giant rock guy. Is that a divine beast?
no,
no.
no. Think stories tall, multiple like office stories building tall.
Like, okay, if you were to go from one end to the other end of it, um, how many minutes do you think that would be, Joseph?
If you know it well, it's only like 15 minutes
It's
to
just
go from
15
tail end
minutes.
to the head. Honestly, if you
Yeah,
because it's compact, but the puzzles and the navigating of it makes it longer. Trust
but
me,
it's still
I've
15
completed all of them.
minutes.
Yeah,
That's kind of the length, yeah, no.
these things are mountain size,
Yeah. In
and the elephant
fact,
isn't actually the tallest.
really?
The elephant is not the tallest. I believe the camel is, which you
Oh,
haven't gotten to yet. But that's for
well,
kind of obvious reasons.
rest in peace when I do that one. Oh, that's the desert one.
Yeah, that's the one in the desert.
Oh, great.
But
Great me.
that's the kind of big scale we're talking about. So when you talk about, and in the trailer they showed you firing off lasers from the divine beasts, and I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I personally, this does not change my opinion. I'm still getting the game. It does not make me more or less excited for the game. It's just another add-on to the game for
Yeah.
me. Is anyone interested in some of these other games? In particular, I don't know that any of us are really interested in Control, unless I'm wrong.
Mm,
No,
no, not really.
Zombs, probably not. Hitman 3. Is anyone interested in Hitman 3?
I got a couple family members who will be very excited about Hitman.
That could be construed all the wrong ways.
Yep.
Immortals Phoenix, I don't think any of us are interested in either.
No.
No. Tropico 6. Um, you had mentioned though, Moxie, that you were interested in Story of Seasons because it's farming
Yes.
simulator. So there's
Yeah,
that.
I've got a little bit of a thing with simulators. Not stuff like vehicle simulators that drives me
Right.
nuts, but something like farming kind of reminds me of Harvest Moon, which was one of my most played simulators growing
Well,
up.
then you will like Story of Seasons more than likely because it
Oh
is the
yeah.
split off of Harvest Moon.
Oh yeah.
It's what Harvest Moon became. Part-time UFO, for anyone that didn't see it, actually looks interesting. I don't know that I'll give it a try, but again, that was released on other hardware. Uh, Probably the biggest games that came out of this, outside of Bravely Default 2, which I'm personally excited about. Is anybody else, before I move off of it, excited about Bravely Default 2?
Uh, Not me, but I do respect the franchise for what it is because boy,
It's hard. It's
it's
not an easy
hard.
one.
Yeah,
And
it's hard. I respect that.
Zombs, you said no?
Nope.
Okay, so the only other big thing outside of Hyrule Warriors, from my perspective, that hit this Nintendo Direct was No More Heroes 1 and 2, outside of No More Heroes 3 getting a trailer. But No More Heroes 1 and 2 both have popped onto the Switch digitally. Is anybody else interested in these games, or am I on the island, so to speak?
You might be on the island, currently watering your pumpkins and dealing with your new villager, Daisy, but I am kind of intrigued.
Zoms, what about you?
Nope.
Nope. Zoms is very neutral today. Um, just for me, I've not played the No More Heroes games, so I'm sorry if I'm getting anyone's hopes up for me to gush on them. But I do respect what they are. They came out on the Wii originally, and to have them finally on the Switch, and more importantly, with No More Heroes 3 coming along, and then the previous little spin-off title having come out last year, you'll be able to play the entire No More Heroes saga on the Switch, which is really awesome. That's really cool from my perspective. If I should ever want to play any of the No More Heroes games, because I've always been interested, I've always been intrigued by them, just never ever bothered. They're cult classics for a reason, and I really can't say a whole lot more. I'm very interested and very glad that the entire series is going to be playable on Switch. But that ends it for video game news. Now we'll move on to Zombs portion with anime news. Is there any anime news this week, Zombs?
Yes, everybody sit tight because we're going to be here until next week talking about anime.
Oh,
Let's
shoot.
not do that.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, I'll sum it up. So everybody who likes anime,
So
shut up
me.
and sit down.
Okay, I'll shut up.
The Rising
don't
of
do
the
that.
Shield Hero Season 2 was confirmed on Crunchyroll. Everybody's in dire anticipation of that. It was actually supposed to be released already, but got pushed back.
When's it
I
get
would have
pushed
loved
back to?
2021. An exact date hasn't been mentioned yet, but I believe I'm hoping sometime in January. That the time I got reincarnated as a slime part 2,
Yes!
they believe July 2021.
It's about time for that one.
I agree. I've been waiting. I've been reading the anime. I do have a Barnes Noble subscription, so that way I can go in and purchase my manga at like a cheaper price. So reading the manga, just because I can't wait. I need
Yeah.
more of slime.
Yes, it's actually a very amusing one. I actually did end up
What's it
liking it.
about?
Psalms, you describe it, because you'd probably be better at it than I am.
It starts off with a guy, normal guy in Japan, our world, in his, I think it was his late 20s. His life is okay. Well, he stops a mugging on the street between uh, one of his, uh, like one of his tohai, his younger people who looks up to him, and he stops a mugging. He actually gets stabbed, and his final words to his junior are, go to my apartment and destroy my computer. Don't let anybody see it, just destroy it.
Which is
And then he dies.
hilarious.
He's reincarnated as a slime in a fantasy-based world. And the slime being one of the lesser creatures, he actually becomes one of the most powerful creatures. And it's great. There's a lot of comedy, a lot of adventure. I recommend
Sounds like it.
anybody pick this up.
Yeah,
I
That
am
sounds hilarious.
it's really funny. It does have a little fan service at times, but it goes both ways. Um, it's very, very, very funny. It was actually a feel-good kind of anime that my roommates kind of introduced me to, and now I am as much a fan as I am My Hero with that. So, hoping for season 2 to come faster.
Speaking of My Hero, actually, My Hero Academia Season 5 is coming out in 2021.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited. There was a teaser trailer released, and I'm excited to see one of my favorites, Bakugo. I did see his new outfit,
Yes.
and I'm excited. Some people have the same outfits, but
Yes.
there's just so much. It's one of the top anime I think right now in the world
Yeah,
with everything that's coming out.
right now it's one of the more hyped ones. I can go anywhere and find merchandise for My Hero. And I'm caught up with the manga right now, and boy, Zombs, you're in for a treat.
Oh, I'm excited. I mean, speaking of the
Oh, I hope
manga, I
you're
mean,
excited.
they
'Cause
even
it's gonna
have
ruin you.
Yeah, look at how big my eyes are.
I know, right? They're huge. You're like, boy, bring on the angst.
Yeah,
Can't
one
wait.
one fell out when I was reading
Yeah.
the information. I had
Yeah,
to
you
put
had
it
to
back in.
pop back in with a squelch.
I just
Maybe
used my
cockroach
hand.
skittering. You just
Yeah, it's like just goes in.
Yep.
Um, let me see. Yeah, but if you're a fan of the manga, I recommend reading the manga, the Vigilantes from the My Hero. That's also pretty good.
Yeah. Kind of like the prequel / spin-off / both actually to
Yeah,
the series. Yeah, you get to learn a little bit more about the past stories of Dazawa.
yeah. One of my favorites also appears in there. It's Endeavor.
You're an Endeavor fan.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
He
pretty
just
cool.
burns everybody.
Man, that redemption arc coming up is going to be good for you. Then I think you're going to like it.
One of
Another
these days,
popular
I'm gonna
one.
get into this.
You better. You're only wasting your life.
Yeah.
Only
And hey,
wasting my life doing
the
YouTube and
movie
podcasts.
the movie was finally released, and since you're bringing up My Hero Zombs, I might as well tell you that my Voodoo has the latest My Hero movie. So if you're interested in watching it, you have my login info.
I do. I will go watch it over and over.
I have both movies. Make it a double
Uh,
feature. It's a
Yep.
feature.
It'll be a quad feature because I'll watch it first in the Japanese and then I'll watch it in the English.
Oh, you're a quad kind of person. Got it.
I would like to add something here just briefly.
Mm.
If anyone listening to this would like us to watch My Hero Academia and react to it as we're watching it, please let us know.
Please,
we'll have
please.
contact information here at the end of the podcast, but please let us
Because
know.
while Zombs here and I like it, Joseph has never seen it. And I actually have been trying to get him to watch it, and he has stubbornly refused. So if you comment, go ahead and comment in the video how much you would really like Joseph
Now,
to watch it.
for the record, I have not refused. I'm just
You've been
a little
avoiding it.
busy.
You've been avoiding it straight out.
I'm the linchpin of the business, you know.
I
I've
will
got
call
business
you out.
things.
Joseph would rather clean his tub than watch anime.
I
That
mean,
is not true. I resent that remark.
do you?
I absolutely resent that remark.
Well,
And prove it, big boy. Watch My Hero.
Well, we'll let that be decided by our
The
listeners.
boys are fighting.
Is there more news that you have there, Zombs?
Yeah, how about Dr. Stone, Stone Wars? Season 2 coming out 2021.
Yeah, it's another one I'm
January,
excited for.
actually, so
Actually,
right around
Joseph,
the corner.
I'm pretty sure you would actually enjoy this anime because it is literally science. It's science.
I have heard of it. I've heard of it
Science
through
is fun,
film theory.
thanks to Dr. Stone.
Yeah, but no, every episode they have something scientific going on, and it's actually like they break it down, and it's not just fantasy made up science. They actually break down how to make these things. I wouldn't recommend doing it in real life, trust me, but you've got that going on. Kids, don't try that at home.
Maybe
But yeah, no.
whenever I find some time.
Just like, comment in the video if you want Joseph to watch My Hero, and maybe subscribe, comment, and like if you want him to watch My Hero and Dr. Stone, and us
there
react
you go.
to it.
There you go. I like that idea.
I mean,
if
I'm
we get
willing.
enough subscribers,
Yeah.
I will shave Joseph's head.
That's not ever going to happen.
Then I guess you don't want subscribers.
I do want subscribers, but that's never going to happen. We're in 2 different states.
I could make the trip.
During a pandemic, when we're not supposed to move.
He can hitchhike.
I could definitely run.
He's a zombie. He doesn't need to eat. He can just function. He's
That's
wearing a Mario
not
one
true.
piece. He's good.
I do need to eat.
Yes, you need to eat bodies and flesh and brains. But you know what? Go ahead.
Eating
there's some
flesh is
mortician.
also frowned upon. So I have to take an alternative. I like beef, fish, just a lot of meats.
Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Okay, if I must.
Oh my. Any other news, Zombs, for anime?
The final one on my list here would be the Attack on Titan. The final season is coming out early 2021.
An era comes to an end.
There you go.
I actually will admit I never really got into that show. I
Have you seen the
tried.
first episode?
Yes, I've
And
actually
it didn't pull
seen.
you in?
No, and you actually know me. You know I'm kind of into the whole like horror aspect of things. I'm a horror junkie. I did not get into that. I don't know
Did you see
why.
when the main character died?
You mean aside from his parent?
Yeah, because that was the first episode was the parent died,
Yeah, because
and
the
then
main character
the
did
main
not.
character dies later on. I want to say it's
I was
probably
gonna.
like the fourth episode.
I was gonna say like I got to episode 3.
Oh, you're almost there. Is the main character
Congratulations, you
dies,
just spoiled it.
and you're like, well, who's
Yes,
the main character?
it would
Sorry,
be Aaron, wouldn't it?
you
I
would
thought he
think,
didn't die.
You would think.
He became a Titan.
but you
Well,
shut up.
thank you for spoiling it. But you know how I
Oops.
am with spoilers. I'm okay with spoilers to the extent. I might try it, but I don't know. I just never got into it, which is surprising for me because that's some of the stuff I watch is definitely gory and horror ridden, and that did not strike my fancy at all. But
Interesting.
I do really enjoy the art style. Art style is very pleasing, very interesting.
From what I've seen, I agree with that actually. From what I've seen of it, the artwork was really well done. All right. Well, let's go ahead and switch over from news to briefly what we've been playing, watching, reading in the past week. Moxie, would you like to kick off with what you've been playing, video
Yeah.
game wise, reading?
So besides
watching?
Disgaea, off and on, I actually have finally gotten into a book that I should have for a while because I am a huge fan of Terry Pratchett's stuff. Huge fan, but I have not really gotten into a lot of Neil's stuff. So I have been reading American Gods. That has been quite a trip. It's been really interesting because I am actually able to pick out most of the gods before they even reveal themselves. Um, what up to Mr. Wednesday there? But anyway, no, it's very good. I actually have been living under a rock. I didn't realize there was actually a show based on it.
Yeah,
So
you were showing me
that's
that a few weeks ago.
yeah. I was showing you a bunch of it because it caught me by surprise. My friend was like, "Oh, you're reading American's Gods. That's great. Have you seen the show?" Hey, say what? Say what? There's a show. Oh, link me some stuff. Oh, this is good. So I will probably start watching the show. I am a little over halfway done with the book. So I'm actually looking forward to finishing it possibly in the next weekend or two. I read fast when I do read. So really, it's been me consuming American Gods on my break at lunch. That's been my life. What about you, Zoms?
Just been doing a lot of research on the new games coming out. I've been playing, yes, Breath of the Wild. Fortnite right now has their Halloween stuff. Overwatch has their Halloween stuff.
Oh, that's right. I
PUBG,
need to log in.
some Halloween stuff on that as well. Mostly just that. Working out, guitar, burgers,
Gotta get those burgers in.
anime. Yeah, or I go on a rampage. Let's see what else. Oh, keeping up to date. Waiting for Pikmin 3 on the Switch to come out. That comes
Yes.
out this weekend.
I'm looking forward to that too. That's going to be fun when that comes.
I think
We
for
can
the
report
people
back.
who haven't played it, it's for everybody. I have a coworker, she's never played Pikmin, but simply because it looks cute is the reason why she wants to get it. And I said, okay, go for it. So she's gonna do that.
I have a question real quick for Moxie. Moxie, you are the lover of cute and macabre.
Mm.
What kind of level would you rate Pikmin on a cute level?
I mean, the fact that they get eaten and die in mass. That's actually, I'm amazed I haven't played this game sooner because you got the cute and then you got them being horribly maimed in mass hordes. So yeah, I'm kind of amazed I haven't gotten into this game, but they're adorable until they get eaten.
I'm sorry,
I
Zombs.
my score usually I think the most I've ever had them get eaten because you get scored at the end of the day, and it's like I think the most was like 6.
Wow. That makes me remember of a little bit of thing that I heard where they actually toned down the number of Pikmin that could get eaten in Pikmin 3 for whatever
Cowards.
reason. But it has 3 difficulty levels, so.
I mean, you know me with the difficulty.
Oh, and Zombs, here you go. Found out what spicy difficulty does. It locks down the number of Pikmin you can have out from 100 to 60.
I could still do it.
Why call it spicy though?
I don't know other than that, but think about this. Imagine having originally being able to pull out 100 little troops, and now you can only pull out 60.
That's
That's
spicy.
a lot less to murder.
Yes. Well,
That's
it's
a shame.
also a lot less to work with when you have multiple different types of Pikmin. But
Yeah.
Moxie, you should give the demo a try if you're interested. It is out there and it's free on
I
the
have
Two
always
Shop.
been interested. I just don't know why I have not actually picked it up sooner than I have. It's just been one of those things that never really came across my radar at a time that I could play it. But new life out here in North Carolina, y'all.
Moxie, go download it after this recording.
Yes, there you go. You're
Yeah.
getting peer pressure now.
I
Zom
never
is going to come for your brain if you do not download it.
I never do well with peer pressure, so might as well.
Zoms, did you have more to share?
Waiting on the Resident Evil Village game for 2021.
Okay.
I need that in my life. That the Halo Infinite I heard got pushed back.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's next year now, unfortunately.
Oh.
Big
Well-
flagship launch title for the Xbox got pushed back.
What was the
unfortunately.
reason?
Did they give one Zoms?
I don't believe so. It's probably just some generic reason. Wanted
Probably
something from their
development
drop-down
issues.
menu that they put. It's like, what's the reason? Drop down, this. Okay.
Huh.
It's not like we could do anything about it. It's not coming out faster, so. And they know that. We can't. We are powerless.
There's been a lot of games actually delayed lately, including Warcraft Shadowlands. But I almost am applauding those that are pushing these back, especially during the times that we are in. Trying to make sure everyone either works, social distancing, or just keeping safe, or just trying to avoid crunch. Or even if there is crunch, trying to make it a little bit easier on the people. I do approve. I don't know about what you guys think of that, but I do respect when they do push back stuff to try to, ease the crush time.
I do not personally believe that crunch time should really be a thing.
Yeah.
I believe that I stick by Nintendo's philosophy that to release a game too soon just makes it a bad game. And I think it was Miyamoto that said that a game that gets released in a bad state is bad forever, but a game that is put through with enough time and care eventually does become good.
Yes.
And that is a good development philosophy to have.
I have never liked the idea of crunching. It's crunch time. I mean, to some degree, there's always going to be some crunch, especially in the final month. But to do it in such a manner has never sat well with me.
Well, I guess just to briefly go over what I've been playing, I've been playing Ys Origins lately. I'm about halfway through that game. Just a little hack and slash. Got an interesting story. Don't need to cover that too much unless anybody has any questions. I also recently got in Cadence of Hyrule, Crypto the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda, which is possibly the longest title in my entire video game collection of video games. Interesting little title. Also, amazed that this indie developer was given almost carte blanche. I could believe the Zelda license by Nintendo, and they did, from what I've played, a really amazing job with this little title. As anybody knows, I love buying physical games, so I picked this up physically, obviously, and it has the DLC on the cartridge. So when I get through more of that, I can say more. Otherwise, Animal Crossing has been the majority of what I've been playing. I got in a few other games, but I'm not going to talk about those just yet. I can save those for another time. But all right, anybody else have anything before we wrap up?
Can't think of anything. We kind of covered it all.
Zombs, how about you?
Is there going to be a new Nintendo console coming out?
There are rumors of a Switch Pro, but that's all.
What would a Switch Pro entail?
From the rumors, and while I didn't want to cover rumors, but just to touch on it briefly, there was a rumor about the Switch Pro having a LED screen, of all things, that popped up
Fancy.
recently. Yeah, kind of more than likely. The Switch Pro, that if it were to be a thing, would have a faster processor, output in 4K, have all the bells and whistles. Now, whether that's a thing that could ever possibly happen, I'm kind of erring on the side of caution because I believe that Nintendo will release an upgraded version of the Switch at some point, and it might be next year because
Yeah.
there are rumors that are pointing that way. But I do not know whether they will go the route of making it super expensive and throwing in all these really neat things, such as an LED screen, and would be an even more interesting proposition having a Bluetooth capabilities to it, among other things. But even 4K output would be interesting. Faster processor. Of all of those, I would say a faster processor would be the most realistic. And given that the Switch originally released with the same processor as the NVIDIA Shield, and there was a better processor for that same architecture that was already released, that would be my best bet of what they would put into a Switch Pro. But anyways, if nobody else has anything, then that's it. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening to the podcast. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to, as Moxie and Zombs both said previously, to subscribe to this channel, to the podcast, like the video, audio, give us a comment, drop a comment in that comment section down below. Also, don't forget you can email us. We are accepting emails at nerdbreakpodcast@gmail.com. Address it to any one of us, whether you want Zombs or Moxie to weigh in on something that you want to have them answer a question on, or even myself.
It can be anything too. If you just have a question, even if you think it's silly, go ahead, send an email.
Yes, and if you do, we may read it in a future podcast.
Oh, and don't forget to say that you want Joseph to watch My Hero. I'm not letting
Thought
you
we had
live that
already
down.
gone over that.
I'm just reminding the
ag-
folks.
But again, thank you so much for listening, everyone. On behalf of myself, Moxie, and Zombs,
Hi, it's me, Zombs.
it's supposed to be bye, Zombs.
Bye,
I,
it's me, Zombs.
so I think our zombie needs to go back in the grave a little bit.
It seems so.
Mm.
But thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
See ya. Wash
It
your
is-
hands.
It is October 28th,
Yay!
2020.
Halloween,
So,
guys.
3 days
So
before.
close.